Did you realize and do you know that journalists aren't looking for the best product? They're actually looking for the best story for their audience. In today's video, I'm going to break down the 5 reasons that your pitch is not getting accepted, opened, answered, received, or invited for more coverage. We have seen so many pitches over here at Visibility and Purpose over the years with our personal clients as well as Lydia's agency clients, and we understand what a good pitch looks like. We've also interviewed so many incredible writers and podcast hosts and TV anchors directly on this channel, so we can peel back the curtain of what actually matters for you and your brand. If you are here, you are likely the founder of a brand, you are on the marketing team of the brand, and you are looking to secure press coverage for your brand in-house before going to an agency. And that is what we do here. So if you're new, my name is Bridget Eileen Cisco. I am the co-founder of Visibility on Purpose, and we help product brands and small business owners get featured in the media without needing to pay agency prices. Yes, you can do this for yourself. But I do want to break down why most PR pitches are getting ignored and really what to do instead. These are my top tips. This is something that most founders feel, or if you have been pitching, if you've been sending out those emails and you haven't gotten coverage, this could be a way to change your strategy. So let's jump into this right here today. And of course, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video because we love creating this content for you. It's so much fun for us, like literally brings us joy. So please subscribe to the channel so we can continue bringing you more amazing content for free. So point number 1, you are pitching the wrong story. This is important because, as I mentioned before, journalists don't just want the best product. They really want the best product for their audience that their audience is going to love. Whenever we write pitches, whether it's for Lydia's agency or whether it's for our clients here at Visibility and Purpose, because we do write pitches for brands. So if you just want to completely outsource that and send it to someone else, we can write the pitch for you. However, we never write the pitch as buy my product. It is always thinking about tying it into a bigger conversation. This is where the positioning piece comes in. So think about your brand and your product. What is a larger conversation that ties into that product that you have? So what is happening in the current news cycle? What are some trends that you're seeing on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok? What are people already talking about? What about the seasons? It is, beginning of the year here, and people are thinking about getting fit. So if you have a brand that is in the health and wellness space or the movement space or physical fitness space, this is a time for you to capitalize on that because people are already thinking about this. So what and how can we tie your brand into a larger conversation? And you can even think about it what recent conversations are you having with friends? What are people talking about around you? A quick scroll of social media or even Reddit. I love going onto Reddit and just seeing what people are talking about. It's quite interesting because you learn a lot. I'm personally not someone who watches the news all the time. However, social media and the internet is a great place to just get a pulse on what's current. What are people talking about? You can find a lot of information out from just doing that. Or head over to the top magazines that you want to be placed in and want to be featured in and see what they're talking about because that's going to give you an idea of the content that's already being put out. So that is number 1, making sure that you're not pitching the wrong story because your product isn't the story angle necessarily. You need a story angle that's going to tie your product and your amazing work into a story that is worthy of coverage. Number 2, pitching the wrong outlet or even the wrong person. So we've had and interviewed TV anchors on this channel as well, and a number of them have said they are getting pitches on topics that they don't cover. So this is where the research component needs to come in. And if you are a brand, if you're a founder, if you're the director of marketing at that brand, this is where you may hire an assistant, right? So maybe you have a virtual assistant or an executive assistant who's going to be doing some of this research for you to make sure that the brands are aligned before you're reaching out to that outlet specifically. Same goes for podcasts, same goes for TV, same goes for editorial. We need to make sure that that is aligned. And even I've started talking a little bit more about guest blogging and some of those other ways that you can get your brand out there for SEO purposes, content purposes. You're not going to reach out to a makeup artist if you're a landscaper. That doesn't make sense. So just thinking about what is in alignment with that audience. So make sure that you are pitching the right outlet, the right person at that outlet, and it makes sense for their audience. Again, if you are a skincare brand, maybe you're not pitching a business outlet if you're talking more so about that skincare brand and that new product specifically. This is the same concept when you are selling something. You need to be talking directly to your consumer, your potential customer about their wants, needs, desires, problems, challenges, and making sure that you align that with what it is that you are suggesting. Number three mistake is making it about your brand and not the reader. This is where naturally a lot of reach outs go wrong because you're just talking about the brand and you're forgetting who this is for, right? And that's where having the right pitch, the right positioning matters, because you need to be thinking about, okay, who's the reader of this outlet? Who is the listener of this podcast? And why would that host say, let's go for podcast for a second. And let's say that we are a salsa brand. So if we are thinking about people who are listening to conversations about salsa brands, it might be how you got that brand started, or it might be a health podcast, but you need to make sure it's going to be aligned with what the audience is looking to hear on that show. And one of the things that we like to recommend is this idea of a value intersection. So on one side of the equation, you have the outlet that you're reaching out to, the readers that you're reaching out to, like the demographic that you're reaching out to. On the other hand, so we have these two sides. On the other hand, we have your product, your brand, your expertise. Now, that's not necessarily what you lead with. You lead with the intersection in the middle. So imagine a Venn diagram. We have exactly what that outlet wants, what the reader wants, and then we have your brand. In the middle is the value intersection where you are figuring out what is that story angle that's going to align with this audience. That is the most crucial thing here for you when you're sending that pitch. And that's going to really, really improve your abilities of getting coverage on the product or on you as a founder. Number four, no credibility context. So we're big believers that you do not need to be Nike, Apple, or a really well-known brand yet. You don't need to be famous or a celebrity to get coverage, because we've seen it time and time again. Emerging brands that might not even have their product on the retail shelves yet is still getting press coverage. So that's not necessarily it. But when you write that pitch, we don't want you to sound like a nobody, right? So we need to be thinking about, like, what is your backstory? How did this get started? Why is that interesting? And really leaning into some of those cool differentiators to help your positioning in the pitch, to not have you seem like you're totally like the new guy on the block, but really how that is a benefit for your brand and how that is helping you get the coverage that you deserve. And lastly, the reason the pitch is not getting picked up is likely because the pitch is too long or sounds salesy. When you are writing a pitch for coverage, you're not selling something. So don't think like a sales pitch. That's not what we're doing here. We're actually providing value, because remember how this works is we have writers and podcast hosts who need help producing their content, and they need sources, experts, products like you and yours to come in and help with their stories and with their content. So you're not selling something. You are simply sharing a story angle or an idea or an introduction to a product or a brand in a way that's compelling for that person to pick it up for coverage. Okay, so that's really important. You're not selling something. It's a really, really different conversation that you're having. And this is where a lot of the brands just reach out and they're like, hey, can you guys just write the pitch for us, because we're struggling to do this. And I think this is just so natural because so many of us as business owners are in a silo. Like, we know our work, we love our work. However, we tend to not zoom out and say, like, how does this fit into the bigger ecosystem of what's going on in the world? And how can my brand be thinking a little bit more strategically? And honestly, creatively, there's a lot of creativity that goes into the positioning piece for pitches to secure coverage. So those are my 5 points. Just to reiterate them again. Number one is wrong angle and wrong positioning. Number two is reaching out to the wrong outlet or the wrong person. Number three is making it just about the brand and not about the reader. Number four is having no credibility and not really positioning the credibility correctly. And number five is making it sound way too salesy and totally not aligned for a media pitch. This is exactly why we build personalized PR plans for brands and founders, so that they can just come to us, tell them their vision for their outlets that they want to be in, and we will write the pitch for you. And the cool thing is that our clients are getting into Food and Wine magazine, top tier media, as well as podcasts as a result of these pitches. So all that you need to do is literally copy, paste, send it to the writers that make the most sense, and we will tell you exactly what outlets we would recommend for you because we're putting our little publicist hat and saying, hey, if we were publicists, what would we do with this brand? Like, what can we do creatively to help this brand? So thank you so much for being here today. As always, if you can like, subscribe, comment on the channel, we would so greatly appreciate it. And please tell us, like, what kind of content do you want to hear next from us? We will see you soon.